start recording here, right, fellas? Might as well. But
Mm.
yeah. So you do you regularly, Gustav, swim when it's minus like in the freezing?
Yeah, I try to, or swim or swim. It depends on how much ice it is. When it's not ice, I can swim a little bit, but otherwise I just go down, but by the ladder and dip myself.
That's crazy. So this is what I'm saying, guys. Friggin' on the Christmas special, Gavin Aiden's like, I just want to like go to Sweden and train with Gustav for like a month. And I'm like, dog, you ain't lasting a month in Sweden training with Gustav, man. What are you talking about?
I
So
take
this
him.
guy,
I take him to the lake. I dip him. He go home.
yeah, what are you talking about? This this guy has
Maybe,
to travel
maybe.
first class, first off. Like
Yeah,
as soon as he gets off the plane, he's out of his element. He's like, no, kill that.
yeah.
It's gonna be a long weekend, maybe a long weekend. He'll be back.
Well,
His mom and dad
or
were
he
like,
had,
"What the hell are you doing back so
yeah,
soon?"
exactly. Or he adapts, and we make him strong.
Nah, nah,
Oh,
nah,
he's strong, but
no, man, no, he'll die. He'll pass away. He'll be deceased. God bless.
or he
God
go to
bless.
Italy. He go to Italy. He when it's warm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He'll have to bounce around a little bit. So how is training going, fellas? First off, thank you for doing this. And we're like super close to Sheffield, and this is good for like hyping it in terms of the Sheffield showdowns. Oh my! I got tons of questions for each of you fellas, obviously, but oh my God, is this a good one? We got three world champions on this podcast right now. We got you guys win world titles, break world records, win Sheffields. Like this is an absolute nuts showdown. The perfect storm. This might be one of the best showdowns of all of 2026. And all you guys look on point. Looking at your social media posts, you're all hitting PRs. Everybody's absolutely smashing it. Sometimes in a group, elite like the 63s. Kiara came out and said, "Look, I'm not 100%. I got injured. I didn't squat deadlift for like a month." And Alba and Meg are doing phenomenal. But all three of you guys are smashing PRs. Let me ask you, Russ, because you posted up that huge squat, 372.5. You're crushing. I'll get into like the fans and all the rest of it, like their percentages and predictions. But how are you feeling going into this battle?
I'm feeling good. I feel relaxed. This is a new weight class for me, and I'm excited because this is a battle. Like I love head-to-head matchups. I think that's something that the sport needs, and I'm just excited. For me, like my body feels good. I'm chilling pretty much at body weight, like I'm maybe a kilo over. So this is like new territory for me because usually I'm in the 83s and I'm maybe 5 kilos over having to do a weight cut. So being able to just fly into another country and not have to worry so much about weight cutting, water cutting, all that kind of stuff, and just relax and compete, it feels amazing. So no complaints here.
On the previous show, I'm glad you mentioned body weight. Maybe I'll get that from you gentlemen, where you guys are resting at. Gustav privileged us with a double bicep the first time we tried this an hour ago, and the guy looks huge. But so I'm wondering where you guys body weights are at. But in the previous show, Matt Gary said, "Man, Russ is looking huge. I don't know what kind of body weight cut he's at, but that 372 was a huge squat. I'm wondering where his body weight's at because he looks huge." And I
Yeah.
said, I don't think he's clearly bigger than he was as an 83. Like, no question you've gained size and strength. But I was hypothesizing, I don't think he's so far. This is a big cut. I think this is a
No.
much smaller cut.
Yeah, no, for me, it's a struggle to keep this type of weight on. I'm learning how to eat into it. I naturally don't eat a lot. So I have to like remember like I'll be ready to go to bed and I'm like, man, I got to eat another meal to keep this body weight up and keep this strength up because naturally for me, I could eat 2 meals and feel good for the day. But
Okay.
yeah, it's my body weight hasn't gone too much out of control. I think I peaked out at like 208, but that was like maybe a month or two ago, or actually 210, but that was like a month or two ago. And then as fatigue has kind of left my body weight has dropped. So the day I actually squatted that 372 and a half, I felt very, very little actually. Like I didn't weigh myself.
Really?
Yeah, I remember walking into the session and it was my last real heavy squat. And I was like concerned because I was like, man, I feel light. I don't understand how I'm supposed to load up. The range was like 350 up. And I was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to load anything above that. And I was able to do it. So, I'm excited. I'm just excited to keep eating and see where things go next week.
Gustav, how about yourself? Prep looks phenomenal for you. you're also hitting some huge weights in the training. And where's your body weight at?
It's around 95, where I'm usually at. So I've been able to eat 4,000 calories a lot during this peak now in the end. So it feels good.
And in terms of the prep work, are you feeling like you're at your best 100%? We're going to see some PRs out of you. How is training gone leading to the Sheffield? From what I've seen on social media, you're flying high.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been like above since my last Sheffield peak. I have been hitting higher numbers, and I have gotten a good flow. Of course, I had a shorter notice this time that I was going to do
Mm.
Sheffield. And as I started working with Mike Toshiran in uh, end of February, almost not end of February, maybe in almost at the end of February, he has been helping me with training. So we had quite a short start, but I basically gave him a program that I did before with my tweaks, and he has programmed around that. So it
End
is.
of
I have done basically the same peak as before last Sheffield.
end of February, you're working with Mike? Because
Yeah, yeah,
thought for Worlds you were with Joe Stanek, and
yeah,
then
yeah. I gave him a try, but I felt a bit like I was. It was too many new things for me. I'm too old, maybe, I don't know, but so I'm over 30.
no, no,
But
you
but
ain't old
I
yet.
felt I kind of lost my efficiency. I felt, and as I have big things coming up, and I'm having a child soon, also. So I felt a lot of like, am I about to reinvent the wheel, basically?
Mm.
So
So you were
I kind of reverted to, because before last Sheffield, I did my own split basically, because I didn't have some good contact with the person helping me then. So I did a new split from the things that I took out basically what I wanted. I moved some days. So I basically, it's the same framework, but I did some twists. And Mike has programmed around that.
gotcha. So you were with Mike, then Joe, now back to Mike.
No, I wasn't with Mike before. It was, I got help before by Alexander,
Mm.
as you may remember, but then I tried a bit with Joe. And then as my training before was very influenced by Mike Tusheran,
Okay, okay, okay.
I figured
Um,
might as well go to the source.
that's yeah, oh, yeah, exactly. Cut out the middleman. Go straight to
Yeah,
the OG. And Mike has been around for a hot minute, and he knows what he's doing. And RTS is a bit of a
yeah,
resurgence. They got Elliot Sykes as well. Now they
yeah,
have you. They have a couple good lifters now.
yeah. So it's like, first of all, me and Mike we get along very well, and
Mm.
we're quite at the same, like, if we talk, we're on the same level, I would say. So it was quite a natural fit, basically.
I was gonna say you guys' personalities would mesh well.
Yeah.
Like, is Mike gonna be at Sheffield?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good. I haven't seen Mike in a hot minute, but it's good to see him. How about you, Emil? How was training for you? You, just like these other gentlemen, look like you're flying high in training.
Hi guys. So for training, everything is going well. For the past 2 months, we're implementing new split with Kedrick because Kedrick is North and
Hmm.
wanted data more. And we implemented 7 days training split because I have a gym now and I every day have a small time to train for me. And everything is going well because every session is short and I have a fully focus about the one compound movement, then accessories. So yeah, everything is moving well. I'm healthy. So yeah.
Russ, going into this, you've been in obviously in multiple world championships, multiple showdowns in your day, but this is the first big showdown in the 93s.
Mm.
This is the big one. NAPFs, you posted a big total, but this is a massive proving ground, seeing how you're going against two gentlemen who have won the world title in 93s. in your estimation, is this the biggest challenge of your career due to the size of these gentlemen, um, their overall totals that these gentlemen bring? Where would you rank this?
It's a really good question. I would say I don't want to get caught up in recency bias. I would say this is number two only because with once again, like I competed against Brett back in 2019
Mm,
and I was not projected whatsoever to win that meet. Brett was flying high. At that time, at that point in time, he was considered one of the GOATs in powerlifting, one of the strongest powerlifters of all time. And I think that one was just I kind of came out of nowhere in that particular meet. This one, it's challenging in its own ways because once again, this is unique because I get to share the platform with Gustav and Emil, and these guys are proven world champions. And it's unique because having a battle on the US side, I've had those many years with the 83s, but I feel like I was the only one that was able to call myself a world champion because I would keep escaping those battles with the victory. But with these guys, they've proven themselves on the world stage. So there's no shaking them. There's no, I know they're not nervous. I know they're not like looking at me as, oh, like we have to compete against this guy. It's like, no, this guy has to compete against us. So that in itself is very, very unique. And then also I have to get used to training with heavier weights. Like
mm,
whenever we're going through our numbers and the probabilities and what we might be going for this particular meet, I have to get my 83 brain into my 93 brain. So we're opening with stuff that I would probably end with as an 83, and I have to get used to thinking that, and then just understand like just follow your body, not so much the weight. And yeah, it's gonna be really interesting because you have a game plan for the 83s. You're used to competing against certain guys, but the 93s, it's a whole different thing. While these guys have been competing above me, I haven't necessarily paid attention to their particular battles because I'm not in that weight class. But now, over the last couple of months, I've been paying way more attention to their training. I've been seeing tendencies. I've been seeing things. I'm like, okay, like I could expect this from him. Okay, this is going to be a problem. He's really good at this, and it's just getting understanding of what that's going to be like for our first encounter. So. I would say I would say for me personally, this is right up there with the Brett situation, but Brett is obviously a little bit different because I went into that battle knowing that he's a better lifter than me in this particular time, and I'm going to need my best and some things to go my way on the meet, on the day of the meet for me to walk away victorious. But this one's challenging too, so it's exciting.
you know what? I yeah, I almost forgot the Brett situation. I famously in that preview show podcast, I actually picked Brett. You styled on me after you won in an amazing video. It was freaking you clipped up the podcast. It was awesome.
And once again,
Um,
he was coming off of a legendary meet. He was the first person to total 10 times body weight
that's right.
at 83. He was flying high. His training was very, I don't know how these guys feel whenever we see each other's training, but I get anxiety when I see you guys doing well. But that's respect where now that anxiety is like, hey man, you can't, it doesn't matter how you feel your next training session, you have to attack. So I remember every time he posted, I'm like, damn, he's still going, like, damn, like I just keep watching, damn, again. So then yeah, it's kind of the same thing going on now. But once again with his, it was like, man, if he comes in doing that, I can't beat that.
He even back in the day posted like 862 and a half in the gym on an SBD day. It was crazy. It was pretty crazy. However, it proves the point. It only matters what happens on the platform because you
Mm.
straight up beat them. No controversies, no nothing. People could do whatever they want any given day. I did also like you made some good points where you said I'm still fresh and brand new as a 93, and it's these weights are new to me. Like I'm doing them, but I'm also you can get intimidated by the weights. You're like, my God, is this where our squat is at? I'm squatting what today? I'm
Yeah,
like, this is new. You're not used to it. Every
yeah,
week it's a new weight. And then you're probably right. Whereas in the 83s, when they're going head to head against Russel Orhii, you're you're the bully coming down to the high school and they're like, holy shit, okay, well, here he comes. Watch out. Whereas these gentlemen, to your point, are like, I don't get the vibe that they're intimidated that
yeah.
Russell Orhei's coming. Like they're I'll play the clip in a little bit, but where Emil said, he's welcome. It's the classic. Yeah, it is unique in that, which makes it obviously more intriguing. We need more new storylines. Do you feel, Russ, that you are a bit of an underdog? Would you even say? Now, you were saying the Brett Gibbs situation, you were definitely the underdog due to everything. He came first, so he had established himself. In this situation, they came first as 93s. Gustav premiered at Worlds as a junior 93, out totaling the seniors in 93s in 2018. I mean, these guys are veterans themselves. Do you feel like, hey, listen, I am the underdog, or I should be the underdog, or how do you view it?
It's that's another good question, and it's multifaceted for me. I think I personally don't feel like an underdog. I feel like we're not on equal footing, but I feel like we're on equal footing to where it could be anyone's it could be anyone's day, you know. I feel like with my last particular meet, confidence wise, I showed that I belong in the weight class, right? But also this is my first time actually going head to head with these individuals. But I personally don't feel like an underdog. Now, if you're looking at it from a you sit back and look at it from a different point of view, I would say I'm an underdog because these guys are proven in this weight class. They're world champions. They've been doing this for a long time. I'm a new guy coming into it, so I have to literally prove myself against them. So in that respect, I am an underdog. But at the same time, too, when you look at the numbers and you look at the projections, I don't feel like an underdog. I feel very confident coming in, and I understand that I gotta kind of like put up a good total to make these guys respect me. But at the same time, it's more so like I feel like it's more so equal footing, and then we'll see how that plays out on meet day.
Does it feel nice to have this kind of new, fresh? Oh, this is unique. This is like
Oh
it's been years.
man, I love it. I'm so thankful for this situation because me and Joey were talking about it. We talk about y'all's training, and for me, like I mentioned earlier, I get anxiety when I watch you guys do well, and I love it because that makes me feel alive. I feel like a lot of powerlifters don't get the privilege of understanding what it means to make your training or have your training feel like it matters. So every single time I go into the gym, it matters. Everything that I eat, it matters because these guys are putting up numbers that it's going to be very difficult to match or overtake. And I'm thankful for that because it gives me purpose. Like this challenge gives me purpose. It makes me feel like I'm doing something for something. So um
You're
yeah,
doing powerlifting.
yes, yeah, it's a good feeling. And I love having the ability to if I don't feel motivated, go pull up their page. Go see what they just did. Go see what they're up to. And that's gonna, I mean, you got Gustav posting steak every single day. He's not cheating on his diet. You have Emil hitting new PRs and reaching new territory. So it's you have to be sharp. You have to be sharp and make sure you're on point.
I'm gonna play the clip when we were in studio and I asked these gentlemen about Russel Orhii moving up, and Russ posted, "I'll see you boys soon," and it was this clip went big. A lot of people took it and ran with it, and we're here now. I'll play that clip and then I'll throw it to Emil. Same type of, and then Gustav, same questions. We're here. How do you guys feel about it? And relate how big the battle is to you. But let's revisit that clip if we can, gentlemen. One sec here.
Moving up to 93. How exciting is this for you as an athlete to clash with one of the biggest stars?
Russ is a good friend of mine, and the biggest thing for me is that I could tell it's a better weight for him. It's a weight he's probably needed to do, maybe even a little sooner. And I could tell he's much happier at that weight. It's exciting because I've never had to compete against Russ. I've always just kind of watched him as a fan, as a friend. So to be able to compete against him will be just an honor in itself. So
He's welcome.
He's welcome. Is it inspiring, exciting, or you got to see something from him first?
Well, of course, we have to see when he competes. He will do good, but I think people will definitely assume it like he will take over. I think
we're prepared.
We're prepared, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I say he's welcome.
That's right. Emil, he's gunning for what you have. Is there any intimidation factor at all?
No, nothing. I'm always training harder, so I'm always improving myself. So yeah, I will be ready.
Russ,
And here we are, gentlemen. So the time is upon us. All the talk is coming to a close, and now it's time for action. Emil, I threw it to you how you felt. How do you feel now? Old rival and Gustav Hedlund, you guys have gone back and forth several times over the years, exchanging world records, world titles, battles at Sheffield, and now Russel Orhii, the hype. We've seen this freight train coming for a year, and it's about to arrive. How do you feel about this battle?
Yeah, I'm really motivating this year because of Russ is coming. So yeah, I'm taking this very friendly. I think it's not like an enemy or something. I just wanna pushing myself more because I know everything is possible, and yeah, so it's a
Let
new
me ask,
beginning.
let me ask you, in comparison to your previous battles, do you feel like this is your toughest challenge? Because you have Gustav Hedlund there, whom you've battled many times, going back and forth, and now Russ is here. Would you rank this as the toughest challenge so far in your career?
Last
Can you guys hear him? I can't hear his audio. Can you
No,
guys hear his audio? Uh-oh.
it maybe
Can you hear
broke.
me?
No.
Now it's good.
Yeah, now you're good. Now you're good.
So for a Sheffield prep last year, I have an opponent like a Gustav. Of course, I'm motivated about that. But now motivation is bigger because we have Russell and Gustav. Now I need to push
Double.
more, of course. Yeah. So I'm excited about that.
Gustav, how about yourself? You've been in the 93s forever and a day. You fought Anatoly, Kaiko,
Yes.
Emil. I mean, you've been in so many 93 kilo battles.
Yes.
You are a battle tested world champion, Sheffield champion, world record holder. Where do you
Yeah.
rank this upcoming battle with so many of your other historic events?
It feels like this is going to be the biggest one. It feels like this is the most like serious one. Definitely. And as I didn't know that I got a wild card for Sheffield first, I am so happy that I got that chance. And I feel very privileged to be invited for the third time. And I'm very grateful for getting this opportunity. And I'm very happy that I get to do it again. And I look very much forward to it. I was almost like crying almost when I got the call. I was like that I was gonna do it because first I thought because I messed up at Worlds, I messed up at World Games because my training then wasn't going as I wanted. Too many new things. Far from my personal best. I couldn't achieve it. But I guess they see the potential in me. And as you said, I'm very battle tested and hardened. So I feel very privileged to be able to do it again.
I ran a poll, and we also have a fantasy league. And the polls, despite this being such a close battle, were somewhat surprising. I'm going to tell you guys the numbers. You might have already seen it. It was in the KOTL Instagram, but I want your guys' impressions here and what kind of motivation that might be, etc. So I asked, who's going to win the Battle of the 93s? 70% said Russel Orhii, 19 Gustav, 19 Emil, 11% Gustav. Are you guys surprised by that? I will throw this to Russ first.
No, because I just feel like that's like follower. I feel like that's more so sometimes popularity comes into play with that. I don't know. I understand I have a big following, so maybe the people that follow me kind of like bought into that, but I don't. Me personally, I don't. I'm genuinely saying like I don't think it's that clear cut. Maybe a couple of months ago where things were new, it felt like that because I just feel like these guys competed pretty recently. I competed in the summertime. I had a big total, but as training has started to play out, I don't think it's that far, you know. And whenever it comes to polls and stuff like that, I never really pay attention to it because those people don't know what we're doing behind the scenes. They don't know what we're dealing with. They don't know any of that kind of stuff, and they get it wrong all the time. Last year. I think it was very, very popular to have Germans coming out of the 83 battle against me. I saw a lot of people saying that I wasn't gonna win that one. So, like I said, it's I don't really play into it. I never actually see the results of the polls or check the polls or anything like that because it's never really that accurate. It's just people watching from afar, either choosing their favorite lifter or making decisions and saying things when they don't have the full scope of things.
For sure. That's why the poll on social media is one thing. The fantasy league that we did. Now we have a King of the Lifts fantasy league for Sheffield. You have to be a powerlifting nerd to join a fantasy league. Let's be honest. That is not so much. That is not so much a popularity contest as much you have to be really into powerlifting. You're likely knowledgeable on powerlifting, and there it was closer, it was tighter, but they still had you, Russ, as the favorite.
Mm.
Not trying to pile on pressure or nothing. Is that surprising to you that insiders would be? I know you pressure doesn't get you anyways, but would that be surprising to you that insiders are pegging you as the favorite?
Um, uh, Even I don't know, even the insiders, they really don't be. I'm not saying that I don't want to be the favorite, but even the insiders, like once again, I've seen very knowledgeable people get things wrong. Like
Mm.
it's just it's sports, it's athletics. You know, there's gonna be things that present themselves. You think that someone is a titan and they're unbeatable, and then things happen. I mean, I was probably an undoubted favorite when it came to my battle against Jones at IPF Worlds a year ago, and I lost. So you never know what people are dealing with. You never know what could happen on meet day. Things change. So once again, I get like the favoritism and all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, I personally am attacking this a little bit different mentally, and what I'm preparing for mentally definitely isn't what's reflected in the polls or the fantasy league. So.
I'm telling you, and I'm asking these other gentlemen as well. But if you're a Russel Orhii fan, that's probably a good thing. Going into Lithuania, you had spoken about it, how like obviously you're a clear favorite, and it's easy to you show up, you do a top set. You're not going to not do your work, but the intensity and focus it is when you think you might take an L and you think like any misstep and you could take an L.
Yeah.
You're gonna if it says 350 to 370, what does it matter if you do 350 if you think this is a you're going to be dog walking your opponents. But if you think I might take an L, you're loading up 370. You're loading up 372 actually. You'll be just do the little things. It's just the intensity and whatnot that you have to bring. So it's good that you're you're not taking it for granted. I wouldn't expect you would, seeing how you're moving up to 93 in these. You're going against two future Hall of Famers, but it's good to hear. Now let me throw this to Emil. Emil, you are the reigning world champion. To hear that 19%. Is this shocking? Is this motivational? Is this all right? Good. You're setting the stage for me.
So it's like a motivational because people don't know what I can do. So everything is possible. I'm not saying I'm win or something. I just say I will put the number I need to win. That is my goal. So doesn't matter how much is on the bar. I will prove them wrong for that.
You anticipate you'll likely pull last. Is that probably yes? I mean, coming in, you got the biggest deadlift. We don't know exactly where Russ is going to end up, but historically speaking, you got the biggest deadlift. And for you, is winning this battle of the 93s, being how you're the reigning world champion, is that really, are you looking to load up with your last deadlift to win that battle? Or are you looking at the overall rankings? How are you approaching this?
So My main battle actually, I don't care actually for a Sheffield pricing or something. This battle is like for a 93, and I take it seriously. Like a last battle for a Sheffield last year with Gustav. So actually, I speak it behind the scenes. For the second attempt, when I didn't receive the white light, the Kedrick asked me, "Did you wanna win the Gustav?" Gustav actually to take it to win this battle 93, or wanna take it more money or higher price just to take it easy or something. I just say load up and let's win the battle. So now it's same actually. I don't care what will be my placing for a Sheffield. I just wanna win the battle for a 93.
That's interesting, and I want to get everyone else's takes on this, but that's very interesting. I've had people come on here saying I'm not focused on the direct head-to-head battle. I'd prefer my overall rankings. However, and it's interesting Russ is here because I've had other people talk about this. Last year, when Russel Orhii avenged his loss and won that battle of the 83s, everyone that I've had on that I've asked this question is like, I've said, where did Russ place overall in Sheffield that year? That I don't remember. And in 10 years, you probably won't remember, but you'll remember that he won that battle of the 83s and he got revenge against Gerans in Gerans' backyard. That's the storyline. And if he was to risk move from 5th to 4th, but have to load up a little more and risk winning that battle of the 83s, it, in my estimation, wouldn't be worth it for his legacy, the storyline, for all the viewers watching. They'd be like, and he would load up and be like, oh, I was looking to pull from 5th to 4th. If people would be like,
I can miss
but you risked Germans. You risked the battle of the 80. This was what, and I've had people, Germans actually, said, no, we're not going against each other this time. We're facing off against everyone else. It's the entire, all the different weight classes. And I would pose to you, Germans could say that coming into this because he got the win in Lithuania, and it would behoove him to take away the pressure and be like, no, it's not me and you, Russ. Come on. Let's focus on other people. Let's not make it about that. Whereas we know damn well for Russ's legacy, it's like, no, homie. Yeah. Come on, man. You know I got to get you back. You know this. What are we pretending? What do you mean it's not about me and you and not about the battle? And I like Emil that, and some people do try to defuse, deflect, and lower the pressure because head-to-head is more pressure, and lower it and be like, I know there's other 63s here. I know there's other 83s here. I'm just looking at the overall. But you're like, no, listen to me. I am the reigning world champion. My expectation is I leave being the number 193, and I'm focusing on winning that battle. Thank you. And we'll look at the other part. I find that refreshing that you're leaning into your role as the reigning world champ. I'm going to throw it to you, Gustav, about, first off, this Emil sparked a great conversation to land on in terms of Battle of 93s versus rankings, and how you feel about it. But before we get to that, let's stay to the original question. 11%. And my man, you were a world champion. You were winning junior world titles, out totaling the Open as a junior in the 93s. You were a Sheffield champion. How do you feel about that? Is this are you shocked first? And is this motivation for you to be like, let me remind everybody that I am Gustav Hedlund, for God's sake?
Yeah, to prove people wrong is very nice. That's always fun, I would say. And it's like, but as Russ said, the polls are very, if people vote, this is my favorite lifter, then they vote for that. So I think people do that. And it's like, for example, before Sheffield 24, when I won, 4% voted for me. So it's like, I don't really pay attention to those analytics. And I know what I can do. I know I am a very proven lifter. And so I'm comfortable in that. And I barely look at those polls because I know that they're usually very wrong. And but I am confident.
And how about what Emil said about keeping his eyes on the Battle of the 93s and how his number one priority is to win this battle, and what you think why that would be or not be for you.
It's exactly the same for me. I have always viewed Sheffield as like, I'm gonna win my weight class, I'm gonna do like the world total record, win my class, and I see where I end up. That's always the mentality that I have had for Sheffield. And well, unfortunately, last year Alexander left the door open, and we didn't shut the door on his behalf. So he were on another place and I was on another place.
You actually won Sheffield with this game plan, so it works. Sometimes you can have
Yeah.
both. Why is it that it's more important for you to win the 93s? Do you think it's just more significant to be the best in your weight class, or why is it to you?
I think it's when I saw first like how Sheffield plays out, how this is the game rules, I immediately realized you're making yourself a very, what do you say, a bare favor. It's like you're making it hard on yourself if you go into Sheffield and be like, I'm gonna be placing one no matter what. It's a bit like I would say it's a bit of a problematic view. If you go in with a realistic view and a realistic game plan, then it's much more easy to execute. Like last year, if you were going to beat Shell, you would be able to, in the 93, you would have to do like, what was it, 960, 970? Yeah, it's a bit like, it doesn't work so well, I think. So, and as we said earlier, it's to be the best in your weight class is I think it's like steps. You have to start somewhere. You can't start on step 10. You have to take this. You have to take all the steps. If you skip steps, you might fall. Win your weight class first, and then you see where you end up. And usually, because 93 is the biggest competition, or we are the toughest class, you usually end up on the podium. If you finish well in the 93, you end up on the podium.
Fair enough. Russ, how do you feel about this in terms of winning the battle and overall?
Yeah, I don't Sheffield is just a platform for me to compete head up against like some of the best people in my weight class. I don't really look at the placing so much because like the guy said, I feel like when it comes to that, there are unique situations that just people that put people at such an advantage. You can't really do anything about that. You know, you have Perk that has been able to kind of skate by with the 74s unchallenged for a little bit. So he's been keeping that world record pretty low, and now he's gonna demolish that. I can't really do much about that. Whereas with us, we have very tight battles. So, you know, one year someone might push it to 918, and then the next year someone pushes it to 922. It's very incremental jumps because there's a lot of capable lifters in that weight class. So I can't you can't no one can sit here and sandbag a meet to keep the record low. So when Sheffield rolls around, they're able to just blast it out the window. So for us, I think that when we see Sheffield, it's more so, hey, they're gonna put together the best in our weight class, or we're gonna battle it out. And usually, I feel like for me, I personally like that better because I could have a focal point. It's like I'm going directly with this person. There's no math that really needs to be done. It's just, hey, I want to total more than you, and let's go at it.
So Joey says to you, for 5 kilos more, you move from fifth to fourth, but it's 5 more kilos than you need to beat Emil and Gustav. For 5 kilos less, you clinch that battle of the 93s. For 5 kilos more, you clinch that battle, but also move up from fifth to fourth. Now, there's always the top end, and there's the straw that broke the camel's back. You have 60 seconds to make that decision. What are you thinking?
Win the battle. So five less just to secure that. I don't care about, it really depends on the day, but I generally don't really care about the actual placings. You know, if I was in a position to where that matters, sure, but it doesn't really matter. Fourth, fifth, who really cares? Like you mentioned before we got on this topic, you know, I probably placed what, fourth last year at Sheffield. No one cares about that. It's more so about, you know, I was able to get my look back against Jurens. So I would definitely lean more definitely lean more towards securing a victory over the 93s versus moving up a placing when it comes to the overall Sheffield.
Now, you guys had mentioned, or Russ, you had mentioned Perk. Let me ask you guys real quick. We can swing around the table on this. Perk, 900 kilos. Do you think he takes it?
I think so. I think it's there. I'm hesitant because when he did the 897, there are some lifts where it's like we got to see that on the platform. It's kind of like when I squat, people are like, I mean, it's a lot of weight, but you got to make sure he gets those white lights on the platform. So I think it's there for him to do it. It's tough, man. I'd say, I'd say yes. I think he gets 900.
Gustav, Perk, 900 kilos, sir. Does he hit or miss?
I remember the video 897. If he would get that on the meet day, of course, but maybe it's more like 8. Maybe he just hits a bit under 900. But of course, if anybody can do it, it is him. So it's like maybe it's not that far from him to get 900. But if he gets, I would not be, if he got like 885, 890, I wouldn't be surprised. But so I think he would come maybe a little bit short. Little bit short, I think he will come.
Mill? Russ says he hits. Gustav says a little shorter. What do you think? Break the tie.
I think around 900, 890, something around this. This is enough for a first place, actually.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so. He need to push it so much forward.
No.
He's probably going to try to lock it in on his second deadlift, the win, and then push 9 on his third. I'm assuming.
It's always tough when you watch people's training videos because once again, there's not judges there, and then also there's not people there. And whenever things are really on the line, it's a little bit different when you're on the platform. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just saying there's a reason why we're all kind of hesitant to say it. Even me with the 9, I just want to see him do 900. So I'm saying he's going to do it, but it's tough, man. I mean, like, when you hit those big lifts, who knows if you can actually do it on the platform, but you're setting yourself up to give yourself an opportunity to do it on the platform. So like I said, I'm excited for our battle, but I'm also, when everything is said and done, I'm excited to see where he ends up with that.
I mean, no question. When you're in your own gym, you weigh in if you weighed in. You weigh in on your own time. You're warming up on your own time. You take that third attempt, give me a minute, walk around a little bit before you start benching. When you're in a comp, nothing's on your time. You weigh in, you got 2 hours. You're sharing a platform warming up. It's anxiety. You get called out. You hit your third squat. Nah, I don't think that was deep enough. What are you talking? You don't get to redo it. There's so many things that can happen. You're like, okay, well, the battle's still on, though. It's not over. You got to keep going. So it isn't. I know what you mean. It's entirely different. The proof is in the pudding. And Perk has actually said himself, too, he sandbagged 2025. Okay. And he said it's been a minute since he felt that feeling when he's back in the warm-up room. He's like, holy shit, even just in a battle, no less. He hasn't been in a battle in ages where it's like, I could lose this. I might lose to these other guys, let alone I'm about to drop the hammer. I'm going to go 100% all out. I got a goal I'm setting to everybody, and I may or may not hit it. When you walk into a meet and right off the bat you're sandbagging, and you're going to win by a country mile, not too hard. There's not a lot of pressure, is there? It feels a little different showing up like that. When you walk in and it's like, hey, everyone's picking you to win the whole thing. And you said 900 and they're all saying 900 and the conversation is 900. It's going to feel different. And he openly said on the podcast, because he's transparent, haven't felt that in a while. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to that. For you, Russ, did you feel that at NAPFs? I know you didn't have head-to-head opposition, but the scrutiny around you, you moved up and nobody gave you any wiggle room. You were just an 83 6 months earlier. You're 93 6 months later, and people are like, is he breaking the world record? Like, there's no time. There was no, you're already feeling what Perk says he's feeling about these numbers. You're like, my God. All right, well, Did you feel that in APFs? Do you feel it now? Because you're used to feeling it.
It's a constant cycle of anxiety and pressure and all that. When you have a platform like this, it just kind of comes with it. But like I said, to me, like it's a privilege, right? So, I I had a different type of pressure for NAPF for obvious reasons. But I like putting pressure. I think when you have pressure, you push harder. So for me, I like that kind of stuff. I like going to meets where you can't feel your hands, you can't feel your feet, you have that feeling in your stomach because that means you're alive. That means that there's competition. So at NAPF, I was actually pretty relaxed in the sense of I felt confident in my ability to hit those numbers. But with this particular situation, definitely way more anxiety, way more nervous for it. Um, and way more excited to get back onto the platform. But yeah, I think it's kind of just a never-ending cycle. Whenever I did the 83s and I moved on to the 93s, yes, there was that. It's like, okay, like now you have to gun towards a world record, which is a little bit interesting because me and Joey were talking about this as well. There was no like transition period. There's
No,
just
sir. No.
yeah, it's just kind of like
No grace.
yeah,
No
you're in
grace for you.
one weight class and immediately onto the next weight class, and now people are your legacy gets challenged. People are like, "Oh, you're not that good. You weren't the best off your first or second meet in your 93 weight class in your new weight class." And it's like, all right, damn, just. But at the same time, too, it makes me train harder. It's like, people have these expectations of you. I have my expectations on myself as well. I know it is a new weight class, but the standard of me being the best, I have an appetite for that. I've been doing it for a long time at a certain level, and just because I'm moving up to a new weight class doesn't mean that appetite's going to change. I still want that diet of being the best. So, you got to challenge yourself whenever you're inside the gym. You got to challenge yourself whenever you're in the kitchen and you want to eat some bullshit, but you can't. So yeah, these are all things that I'm thankful for, and that pressure and the anxiety never really leaves.
When's the last time you felt like you didn't have that as much pressure? Was there a meet when you didn't quite feel that anxiety slash excitement?
I would say my 2020 my last IPF World Championship was like 2021. So I'd say 2021 and then the nationals that I was doing as an 83 outside of the IPF. So I think the one or two nationals that I was doing, I felt pretty relaxed in most of those. But then as soon as I came back to the IPF, people started popping out of nowhere. Now it's like competitions and that feeling came back. So, yeah,
I mean, without the feeling, you're not going to hit the highs you're going to hit.
exactly.
I had Brittany Schlater on, and her and Sunita have gone back and forth many times, and she's like, if Sunita wasn't there, it's pressure, it's anxiety, but there's no question she's the reason why I'm hitting it so hard in the gym. Like, oh my God, I got a monster waiting for me.
Yeah.
Same question for you, Emil. How does this impact you?
Just have a pressure like every battle, but I think pressure now will be more because battle will be more tough. So yeah,
When's the last time you even had where you were not in a battle? I feel like you were constantly in the midst of a major battle. When's the last time you had an easy day in the office?
oh, every
There is none. You're
I can
93.
see, I can see. 93
Yeah.
is not easy. 93
Yeah.
is not easy.
When Turk talks about showing up to meets and being able to sandbag, just have fun, it's like, not in my weight class, man. That's just not the land of the 93s. Gustav, you feel the same way?
Yeah, it is. It is a privilege to have the hard competition, I would say, because then you evolve. And I think it's like as the 93 has the biggest talent pool. I think it is a blessing, and even if I think it depends on, of course, who we are. Some people, they don't like hard competition because you get challenged. You question yourself. You question things. You have to evolve. You have to adapt. It is uncomfortable sometimes, but I think it is. If you want to become a good athlete, it has to happen. You have to get this steel bath basically, and either you come out stronger or you quit.
Now, Gavin Eden had said on the Christmas special as well, he thought the 93s will be sooner rather than later around 1,000 kilos. And seems big. However, we're talking about Perkin 900 and he's a 74. 83s cross 900. You fellas are already deep into the 900s. How far off are we from 1,000 kilos? I mean, the 105s haven't crossed there yet, but what do you guys think?
I think it's possible. I think in the next year and a half or so, there's going to be 93s getting close to not 9,000, 1,000. And I think it's just the natural progression of just like the competition. You know, if I see Gustav hit a big bench, right? That makes me want to hit a bigger bench, and that's going to continue to happen because we're all going to continue to, even past this meet, we're going to continue to push ourselves. There's even other 83s, I mean not 83s, 93s in the US side that they're very capable too. So we have to continuously push ourselves. I don't know if there's going to be a cap anytime soon because there's new talent coming in. So I personally do think it will trend closer to the 1,000 mark. I think it'll take about maybe like another year and a half to 2 years to get to that mark.
Crazy to think, man.
Yeah.
Emil, sorry, you don't continue, Russ. You got some.
No, yeah, no. It's just it's coming. I just think that there's a lot there's a lot of new talent in the 93s. They're young, and I think that that's going to force us to evolve. And I think that there's no real choice. Either you get closer to closer to 1,000, or you just become irrelevant in the discussions of top 5.
And that's also an interesting note as well. Yes, they're young guys coming up. Jurens actually said on the podcast recently, he said age isn't the defining factor that people talk about it though. For instance, I think it was maybe a couple of years ago that Jurens he won the European Championships with 800 kilos. He's in his late 30s. Now he's 872 and a half as an 83. And he's like, he says openly, I challenge. There are 20-year-olds. I don't think they're progressing faster than me. I think my progression rate in terms of my total is equaling and in some ways surpassing some of these guys. He doesn't think if age is a factor, it doesn't come on as soon or as harsh as some people might say. In several different weight classes, including your guys' weight class of 93, you have an individual like Will Ball who's 19 or 20. And it would be easy to say at that age, his progression will have to be 50 kilos and then another 50 kilos. And then it's easy to say that. And then to say, you gentlemen who are already world champions all the way around won't progress like that. But we have seen people like Megan Scanlon and Jurens who are late 30s, parents, full careers, who like Jurens threw on like 75 kilos in freaking a couple of years. Like he's like, I'm not slowing down. And he didn't actually find his second wind until his mid 30s. And then he started seeing massive jumps and leaps and bounds. So Jurens is like, look, and I'm not saying age doesn't exist, but we might be overthinking it. Not to totally dismiss what you're saying, Russ. I agree. You have young guys who are young, and it's like, oh my God, they're eventually when they're 30, they're going to have some crazy totals. However, in the moment, it's difficult, right? You don't know who's going to emerge or what's going to like. For instance, with you, Russ, you just got in 93s. How close are you to seeing your final form as a 93? Do you think?
No, I was thinking about this last night actually. I don't think I'm anywhere near that. I haven't even it hasn't even been a year training as a 93. This time last year I was getting ready to compete as an 83. So that's what I'm saying. Like we're getting closer to 1,000 than we think. And I think that I'm seeing my lifts progress at a rate that is just insane. Gaining weight obviously helps with that, but at the same time too, like once again, seeing other lifters do amazing things, it forces progression. Either you become a competitor and you keep up with that rate of progression, or you just fall by the wayside. But I think along what you said, yeah, age is starting to is not really a good excuse anymore. You have to get smarter with your program, and you have to understand, or you have to be open to new things in order to keep that rate of progression up, because some of these guys are just coming in, and it's just like, bro, they're already at a national slash world level. Yeah, at a world level, and either you change something in your program to keep up with that, or you keep things the same and just fall by the wayside.
Gustav, as a grizzled veteran, you see the young guys too coming up, new names, young teenage to around 20 years old, putting big totals, and some people can pick up the pace. At your training age, you're still a young man, deep in it. How close to your peak do you think you are, and how much further do you think you can push? Do you hear 1,000 kilos? Does that intimidate you, or are you thinking, no, that's within my reach as well?
For me, I've been in the 93s since like 2014. Of course, then I could have probably gone to 83. But I think it's very good that you have young people coming into the sport and having high numbers. That means that the sport is growing. Because if you don't have a talent pool coming up, then the sport is not worth anything, probably. This is like a proof that this sport is growing and it has a good thing going. So that's a very good sign. And as we talked, progression is always important. Because if something is easy to achieve, what is it worth? Nothing. It's like it's a plastic medal. It's not worth anything. But if you win something that is hard to get, that means respect. So that's very good. And in terms of 1,000 kilos in 93, yeah, I think it's possible. I have a hard. I think it's some years away still, but it's definitely possible. Definitely. And maybe I will be in 105. I think by that time, I would guess. Because as you said before, my arms, they look huge.
Yeah. Take it easy.
Yeah, I am the tallest guy in 93, 179 centimeters. I think I am. So for my frame, I think 105 is like my destination. I'm gonna head. And I'm, by the way, I'm the shortest male in my family. I'm the shortest man. So it's everybody says like I'm so tall, and I'm like, I'm not tall.
Powerlifting meet, you're a giant.
Exactly, I'm a giant. But in my like my other male relatives, they're like 190 tall. Almost everybody 190, 192, like so. In centimeters.
When do you think this 105 change up for you is coming? Like how soon?
I have had some thoughts. Nothing I can tell you exactly right now, but it is coming because as I have some life changes ahead of me also. So it will be like to incorporate all of that, be a responsible parent also. And I think it's good. It's like, yeah, you have, as we said, you have to evolve. So I will. It's nothing decided yet, but it's something that's coming. So I'll keep you updated.
Feels like it's sooner rather than later. How happy are you that before you leave, you get to have this battle? Russ moves up, Emil's back. It's Sheffield. To have been able to check this box before you leave the 93s.
Yeah, that's important. It is important, and because it's like I don't think you don't want to leave with boxes unfinished. You want to have these battles. You need to do your thing. Otherwise, I think if you, well, at least for me, if I would leave a weight class too early, and maybe it's like you're fleeing, but you're not done. I think it's like you want to be done with the class. It's like you had a good run and end on the top a bit, like you're ending on it's not like, I think it's a bit, if you stick too long in a weight class, maybe it's like you go down, you end in the bottom and you look bad, like. But if you end on top, it's a bit more professional. You can like start a new page, and it's like professional, clean, and like on good terms and all this. So it's not like it's not a fast move, yeah, either. And of course, it's a big consultant with Kedrick as well, with nutrition and how we're gonna lay it out over time periods and all this. But I think it's an important transition to do when the time comes.
Yeah, I think Russ chose it perfectly where it just storyline wise worked out. We're head to head with Jurans at that Worlds, losing Lithuania actually set up the cumulative storybook showdown, which is like, oh my God, here we are. You couldn't have written it better. I win this battle at Sheffield. Sayonara, take the world record back. It's like, this is perfect. This is a freaking movie. The main character loses and has the big rematch at the end, and everyone's like, oh my gosh. It almost was like the temptation to stick around for one more for Russ would be there, be like, Russ, it's going to get no sweeter than this. This is it, buddy. The credits are about to roll on this. Did you feel that? Before I get to you, Emil, I'm going to ask you about that question too. But Russ, looking back, was that kind of what you were thinking as well? Obviously, you end up here, so it worked out perfectly for you. But did you think to yourself, yeah, it's not going to get better than this? This is at Sheffield, winning the 83s, getting revenge on Germans, and what are we doing here?
Yeah, the original plan, when I go back to that point that point last year, the original plan was to compete at Lithuania, become a world champion again, and then finally compete at Sheffield, like have my first competition at Sheffield and do an amazing total. But and then walk into the 93 weight class. That's what originally what I wanted to do. And the loss kind of messed everything up, kind of messed the game plan on with that. But it kind of fell in schedule because I was still able to go to Sheffield. And yeah, I looked at it. I think I had one more meet scheduled as an 83, which was going to be World Games. But the opportunity to walk into the 93s, to still get the nod to do Sheffield for the next year presented itself. And I was like, you know what? Let's just jump into it. Let's try it out. And everything kind of fell into place. But yeah, the original plan was to kind of walk away as a 83 champion from Sheffield.
There's no question, like nobody's like, oh, I think it'll be better for my career story if I lose this one, come back and win that one. Like everyone just wants to straight win them all, obviously. But as a fan, it's far more entertaining and exciting when people like take a loss, come back and have a rivalry and win. Like you think of sports rivalries, has to happen. Has to have you want a rival. Like that's why they do the 30 for 30 rivalries and those special like you need these. So anyways, that was a key piece for you because you left the way you came in, Russ, with Brett and then Jaren's like you have bookended two major rivalries that are those rivalries are how we're going to remember you in 83s. Ironically, the dominance in between gets blurry. It's like year after year, a bit of the same thing, but the bookends are big time standouts. Emil, how about you, sir? You were the reigning world champion, and we have young upstarts entering this, and they're posting huge totals at a very young age, young training age, young age in life period. For you, do you see these numbers? Do you hear people talking about 1,000 kilos? Do you see these young guys posting up big totals and you're like, oh my gosh, trying to keep up will be difficult, pacing will be difficult? Or do you think, no, I can maintain pace?
Oh, it's excited to the sports is grow actually. I'm happy about it because since I started for a powerlifting before 8 years, more seriously, the powerlifting is not so much popular. We don't have Sheffield, so we have awards and awards. So yeah, it's good place. Yeah, it's good to see 93 kilo class juniors, sub juniors is pushing well. But I think the most important thing is longevity in sport because yes, you can be strong, the most strongest junior in the world, but staying healthy in mentally in the long-term game, I think this is the most important thing. And I see in my road for 8 years a lot of talented guys left at the powerlifting. So I think that is the most important. It's not so much important how you are stronger now, but keep it keep every year.
And what happens when there's battles too? It's one thing when you're able to pick your shots. It's another when it's head to heads. This is actually one of the storylines, bringing it back to Sheffield, that Tiff is probably the favorite to win the battle against Heather in now all of Sheffield, based off, not probably, this is what the stats are saying, based off of those same statistics I brought out from the Fantasy League polls. But if there's anyone or any question marks around it, it's that when Tiff is head to head with another lifter, due to that other lifter going head to head, the pressure, they go heavier on the second attempts, and it's more top end. Don't leave room for their thirds. It's so close. And then if you miss your third squat and it's a grinder, the odds of you missing your third deadlift just shot up like 67%. You miss your third bench because you went too heavy on your second. When no one else is there, what is it? It's just a max out day. Who cares? Easy to pick numbers. When someone else is there and you're nervous, the propensity to go heavy on your second attempt because you're telling yourself, if I miss my third, my second's heavy enough. If this happens, if that, you start playing. I know everyone who's ever powerlifted has laid their head and be like, if I miss my third squat, is my second heavy enough to carry the day, or am I backed against the wall? Well, let's make that second heavy enough. You're only saying that because someone else is there. Otherwise, who the shit cares if no one else is there? This is where when people say, like, to an extent, it's true. It's not basketball, boxing, MMA, where you're one-on-one. The other guy's right in front of you, takes the ball from you, jabs you in the face, whatever the sport is, right? It's not like that where they can do that to you. You have your 60 seconds on the platform. However, when someone's there and you feel the pressure, you got 60 seconds, and yeah, you will be like, go heavy. Go heavy. Even if you're not feeling a million, you're like, nah, I'm good. I'll make it happen. I know I'll make it happen. That's what the pressure does to you. And we've seen, and some people are saying, look, Heather might not be the stronger one, but if she stays in the pocket, Heather openly said, I think she could have beat me at Worlds. I think I was there. She knew I got a killer deadlift waiting for her at the end. They didn't pick right, and they allowed me to win. What do you think about that, Russ? You've been in a few of these.
Yeah, I mean, like, you said it perfectly. I think like you become a different lifter, for the better, for the worse, when that pressure arrives. Like, some people can't deal with that, and it shows. Like, you would think that this person is going to be a world breaker, but some people just end up being like a front runner. Like, when things are going great, they're good, but it's a little bit different. Like, for example, right, at NAPF, that meet could have went a completely different way. I missed my second on depth, right? I'm walking off, and I looked at Joey. I said, bump it up, bump it up. We came here for one thing. If I miss, just put it all in this one squat. I'll get it. Like, I know I'll get it. Just bump it up. And Joey's, he didn't think. He just said, oh, he missed it. All right, right in the number that we need, because either we came here for one thing, and some lifters are like, damn, like, am I going to be able to get my third? And then now all of a sudden they're starting to miss lifts because they've lost that self-confidence. You have to have like a very, very short memory. Hey, I just missed that lift. Get it out of here. Like, throw it out of your mind. We still have a competition to do. But even like when you're going against these like close matchups, you're looking and like you're giving your best, and you're looking at the scoreboard, and you're like, damn, this person's only 5 kilos away from me. Now you start pressing. Now you're forgetting about technique. You're on the platform thinking about how close the other person is to you instead of actually executing. And so some people it bothers them, and then other people it's like, oh, hell no, this motherfucker is too close. Like, I got to lock back in, and then you get on the platform and execute even better. So everyone's different.
Even if you put on the blinders and don't look at the scoreboard, that person in the warm-up room, you're just telling yourself they're that close. Even if they're not sometimes. Even if you sometimes looking at the scoreboard, you'd be like, oh, they're not as close as I thought. But you thought they're on your heels the entire way. Some people, when someone else is in the room, they're pressing a little too far. Let me ask you this, Russ. Well, go ahead.
No, you got it. You guys me.
I was gonna say, some people were saying if Russ goes 3 for 3 on squats, it's Russ's to lose. And you probably hear this every single time you compete to an extent. But at the same token, it starts becoming, if it's a storyline, well, what happens if Russ gets 2 in? What do you tell yourself, Russ? Because you probably hear this all the time, or, people are going to say this. Russ gets 3, it's his. And then it becomes, well, so what happens if I get 2? What happens if I do miss my third? Are you like, does that do anything to you? Or are you like, nah?
Yeah, not really. It's more so like, just nail them, right? Um, it's more so a conversation of like we know even if I get three, even if I get all three, still gonna be a problem. Like it's not just this is a unique situation where even if I get three squats, I mean I'm just on pace to what I'm supposed to do. And even if I do what I'm supposed to do, I still think it's gonna be a battle. Like I have to get that. There's no if, ands, buts about
Gustav's
it.
biceps are distracting me. I can't even pay attention to what you're saying. I gotta be honest with you.
I tried to go away. I go away.
Thank you, Gustav. It's very distracting.
Yeah, but
next, Emil's going to take his fucking shirt off soon, and this is going to turn into some kind of an alpha male. I don't know what's going on here. Sorry, go on, Russ.
I don't really get too much into that. It's like, I mean, of course, you got to get all your lifts when it comes to a battle like this, and even if I could get just two is fine too, because that means I probably miss my second. Get the third, and it just comes from that mindset of you have to get these lifts, bro. There's no missing. Like you can't if you're gonna miss, it's because you didn't prepare good enough. So,
and also, like, let's say when people say this, okay, Russ needs to go 3 for 3 in squats. If Russ only goes 2 for 3 in squats, yeah, someone else is probably going to miss along the way too, though. Like contemporaries. Very rarely does all three guys go 9 for 9.
You could actually go. I could actually go 1 for 3. I just need a third. That's all. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah, I think
as long as it's your third, you keep going up.
Yeah, I think the focus is like, no, it's not what I go for. It's not like the attempts that I get. It's the number that I get. So I think that's the more important thing. It's I can miss the first two, and we're still gonna load it up. Either bomb out or get the lift. So it's more so about the number. If I could go 3 for 3 and not get the number that I need, and now the whole meet's just irrelevant.
Fair enough. Emil, how do you think this thing plays out? When you see this in your mind's eye, how does this battle play out for you?
I think the most important thing is like finish at 6 for 6, especially for a squat and bench, and just see how the game is going, because it's really important to see numbers around second attempt for a deadlift or third, just to see how much you need to load for a win. So yeah, the attempt selection is very important, I think. And sometimes if you miss it, you have opened the door for someone beat you. So yeah.
Does it help alleviate stress and anxiety for you, knowing that you're most likely to be pulling last?
I think it's really stressful if I miss it, but the game is continuing, so you need to stay in the game, focus on that, and just try to be executed well for the next attempt.
Because everyone else's attempts before that, they have to guess. They have to load what they think is gonna apply pressure, but they can't spill over and overreach and they miss. Whereas if you're lifting the very last lift of this 93 kilo battle, which it looks like on the surface level, historically speaking, it would be you know exactly what you have to, by then you'll know exactly what you have to load up. It alleviates that guesswork at the very least. How about you, Gustav? How do you see this battle unfolding?
I am going to do what I usually do, and that is like you collect your lifts and try to get 9 for 9. And in the deadlift, I guess that Emil will pull last, and that means that we other people have to just put our numbers that as high as we think we can pull, and then we see what happens.
What kind of total do you anticipate is going to win this battle of the 93s? Have you thought of that?
No, I've only thought what maybe I will do, but I guess we will see that on game day.
Russ, what do you think? How do you see this battle unfolding? And do you how do you like your position as the squat your other lifts are coming along. Obviously, like they're also augmenting with your body weight as well. But that squat is really jacked up once you moved into 93. But being the squat specialist amongst these three, do you like that position of, okay, I got to get my 3 in early, and Emil gets to hang late? Like, how was that for you, game planning?
It's always been kind of it's like it's a two-edged sword, right? Like I get to kick off the meet and really put some pressure, but at the same time, it doesn't feel good finishing up deadlifts, pretty much maybe the first one to finish up deadlifts, and I have to just sit back and just wait for like these guys to just like shoot their shot at beating.
Yeah.
So it's always an interesting thing to it's different from meet to meet. Like I that happened to me with Journs where I finished up and then I'm just praying that these guys miss their lifts on deadlift. So yeah, that's you just have to kick. It's almost like in sports, right? Like where you get the first kickoff, or yeah, you kick the ball off first, or you're the first one on defense, or you're the first one throwing the punch or whatever. Punch as hard as you can, and then
That's
get
good
your
advice.
lift, and then just wait. Because yeah, I don't have the luxury of getting to decide the meet myself towards the end. I have to kind of build a lead at the beginning and then hold on for dear life towards the end.
Makes it so much. It makes it like such good viewing because that's the case.
I hate it's
There's
the
a story.
worst. I hate it, man, because it's like I did everything. Yeah, I'm sitting in the back and I'm just like looking. I'm like green or red. Like which one is it, man? Like damn. Or I'm looking at the numbers loaded. I'm like, okay, is that da da da? Okay, we're good. Or I'll never forget watching Ade. Like whenever he loaded it up at the last battle, he loaded it up to beat me, and I'm like looking at. Him, I'm like, he hasn't got that, and he's pulling it. And I'm like, oh shit. And then he missed it. I was like, oh man, that was. Woo, so it's not a great feeling.
Especially if you miss your last deadlift, you're like, frig. Did I need those last 10? Did I need those last 10? Like in the last Sheffield, you wouldn't have known. If you hit that, you would have been in the 880s. Be like, oh my God, I hope I didn't need those last 10 kilos. But all is well that ends well. But yeah, it's got to be tough when you're like, okay, well, my day's over. Now now I have to watch as these gentlemen step up and try to take what I had. Yeah, it's going to be. Let me ask a couple more questions and I'll let you guys go. A couple just general, quick, off the top of the dome. We got to battle the 63s. Chiara from Italy said she's semi-injured coming in, but Megan Scanlon from the US and Alba Bostrom from Sweden. I think I'm going to get 2 biased picks out of here, but let me ask it. Russ, who wins the battle of the 63s? You got Meg from US, Alba from Sweden.
I'll preface this with saying that Meg has become in recent years one of my favorite lifters to watch. I think she is a dog. I think she's amazing. But Alba's a teammate, and Alba's another lifter that I've become a big fan of because of her mindset and mentality. So I'm gonna go with Alba on this one.
You know what? I totally forgot for a second there. She's also Joey Flex and
Yeah,
a teammate. Oh, frig! I forgot about that.
her
I forgot about that.
mindset. Yeah, her mindset is amazing. Like I said, I'm super happy with all the success that she's had recently because I remember at Lithuania, I think it was our first world competition, and I got to officially meet her and speak with her, and I was like, man, I've never really seen this girl before, heard of this girl, and we talked about mentality and being able to. She was asking me questions about just about being a world champion and all that kind of stuff, and just the hunger in her eyes and just like how she was going about things and how she said that she prepares. I was like, I don't know when it's going to happen, but like you are for sure going to be a world champion at some point. And literally, she's just been killing it ever since. So I once again, teammate, have to go Alba on that one.
Dude, these Swedes are built differently. Friggin', you got Gustav swimming in rivers that are frozen and jogging in -20 with his shirt off. I'm assuming at that part I added. Alba literally would bike to work an hour each way on her bike, -20 blizzards. And she's on like a bike. And I'm like, do you have like the big fat tires like that you put on those snow tires that you put on bikes? She's like, no. I'm like, what the hell is these Swedes are like Vikings? Like they're built different. That's why Gavin Aiden saying he'll do a month in Sweden. Playboy, I will buy that plane ticket just to see him jogging in the snow. Stop. My man will be in a snowbank somewhere. You guys dive into a frozen lake, and only Gustav's coming out, and Gustav will have to save his life like 6 times in the first month. I'm telling you, this is a reality TV show. Anyways, I digress. Gustav, battle of the 63s. You got Kiara. Admittedly, probably not top form. That'd be the hipster pick if you want Kiara. You got Meg, the warhorse, who's on a revenge arc, and then you got the pride of Sweden, Alba Ballstrom. What are you thinking?
I think I have to go with Alba, of course. She's my fellow country girl here. But it will be extremely exciting battle to see them go out, because Meg is a super good lifter too. She's really good person, good lifter. But it will be very interesting to see. And they will push each other definitely. But I'm going with my country girl here.
Yeah, you got to. And Russ, I believe you had also credited Meg with that improved bench press for a second, and I think you might owe her a few kilos off every bench PR you get, or at very least dinner or something. She just let her wet her beak a little bit. There's a little taxation that's going to happen. It is what it is. That's just game. Emil, 63-kilo battle, Sheffield. Who are you picking, sir?
And Alba have a close battle. For a bench, both bench is good. For squats, it's really close, but for a deadlift, I think Alba pulling more than Mac. That's what I see in the social media. I'm more close to Alba for a win, but will be a really close battle for sure.
Okay, one last question, gentlemen. Famously, Bob Matthews, Worlds 2024 said, don't get clapped by a 105. And he clapped all the 120s. Now, the irony is, at this Sheffield, Anthony McNaughton is daring to be great, and Bob is hot off the heels of SBD Austin. Now, I got to tell you, Russ, you were commentating with me. He did 10.5, nudged ahead of Rundell in terms of the 120s for the year of 2025, and that's the total on everybody's lips. And Anthony McNaughton, a 105, has an opportunity to out-total 10.5, out-total Bob Matthews, and that would take him far deep in terms of the overall rankings, probably nudge ahead of Joe B and potentially second. And if Perk drops the ball, he'd be the man to pull off the upset. Let me swing around this panel and ask, does Anthony McNaughton total more than 10.5? I'll start with you, Gus.
I would say I have actually too little knowledge of his training to do that qualified guessing. But I think Anthony McNaughton is a super good lifter. Before Worlds, I had barely knew who he was. And I just met him in the warm-up room. And I was like, oh, who's this guy? And he goes to win, and he's like, he has so much more in the tank from his win at Worlds. So I was very impressed by him. Very impressed. So he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does over 1,000 kilos. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised. And even if it doesn't happen now, he will definitely come swinging next year or something, because he has a lot of potential. I can tell you.
He's huge too, huh? The guy literally, his back looks like a billboard. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's built well. Very good.
He's
very good.
He's built well. He's double thick. Russ, what do you think? McDummy think. Didn't you call him dummy thick one time?
That's their dumb thick or something.
Dumb thick, yeah.
What did he total at IPF Worlds?
979.5 or something, but he had room in the tank, and he's getting ready for Sheffield. Like he wasn't dropping the hammer.
I think he's gonna demolish that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
I saw his world performance. It was like reminiscent of like what Perk was doing. Kind of.
It felt easy.
Yeah, very easy, very smooth. Literally no grind. So at 105, I mean, what is it to really add 30 kilos on the total? Just 10 keys for each lift. I think
It's a good
Yeah.
perspective, actually.
Good,
That's
yeah,
what people got to remember. It's 30 kilos when you're already around 1,000 is not. When people
not
think
that
30
big.
kilos, no, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think especially with the weight that he's pushing, man, he's gonna fry that. I'm not gonna lie, he's gonna destroy that.
I think for a lot of people, Gustav, you're like a lot of people didn't know who he was before 2025. He won U.S. Nationals, jumped on a lot of people's radar, but not like he did Worlds. But every time he steps up, if he does what he potentially could at Sheffield, he's a huge breakthrough star for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if you guys heard the King of this episode, but his backstory is absolutely riveting. And he's got a phenomenal backstory. Super nice guy. People are like, he should have came on King of Lips and be like, I'm about to clap. Don't get clapped by 105. I'm like, that's not how Bob is. Or sorry, that's not how Anthony is, though. He's not a bold talking dude. If he was, oh my God, everyone would know who he was because he's a pound for pound threat for sure. But he's the understated, super nice guy. But his background, my God, what he grew up with is nuts. I couldn't summarize it all here, but you guys could check it out if you got a minute. Emil, 10-10.5. Anthony McNaughton, does he beat Bob Matthews total?
I think so. The worst performance is really good. Actually, it's around RP6 or 7. He have more than 10 kilos in the tank for each lift. So will be easy work.
There it is. All right. Let me ask you guys, and then I'll let you go. I'll ask you each individually. Russ, who wins the Battle of 93s at Sheffield?
Me.
Gustav, who wins the Battle of 93s at Sheffield?
I would say hopefully me.
Emil, that was a little more European. Same answer. Emil, who wins the Battle of the 93s at Sheffield?
The one who is hungry more for a win.
Okay, we got more and more European as we went around, but I like it, fellas. Good luck. We'll see you guys soon. I'm very grateful you guys gave me the time to hop on the podcast and hype up this showdown. I'll see you guys in roughly a week.
Yes, sir.
Everybody listening, please do subscribe, give us high ratings, and as per usual, 6 up, and we are out.